Yeah. It is 6 p.m.
One more time. It's 6 p.m. and hereby notice is hereby given that the above called meeting of the governing body of the city of Balcones Heights, Texas will be held Monday, November 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the Justice Center located at 3300 Hillcrest Drive, Balcones Heights, Texas, 78201 to consider and act upon any lawful subject which may come before said meeting, including among others, the following items to be discussed and acted upon. I've called the meeting to order and we do have a quorum.
Point of privilege, Councilman. I would like to announce tonight that the pro tem is leading the meeting because the mayor has had surgery and cannot speak. Thank you.
Thank you. So next in line would be number 2, invocation and pledges of allegiance. We have Chaplain Kirk who will give the invocation, and would stand and silence phones.
God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all that we've been able to see that's been nourishing to our minds, to our souls, and also to our spirit. There are various discussions today on the agenda, many code of ordinances that'll be discussed, building purchase, and one of my favorite, when is the Christmas parade? Because I enjoy always being in that. But regardless of what is the outcome, we're asking for civility. We're asking for people to have that voice, to be able to speak their mind without issue, that all parties can hear and understand, and give them that opportunity. And these things I pray. Amen.
Okay. Let's do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Honor the flag. The pledge of allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Thank you all. Number 3 is our public comment period. Do we have any people signing up?
We do, Councilman. We have James Garden.
Okay, come up to the podium and state your name and address.
Name is James Garden, 212 Glenarm Place. I found it very interesting that Councilman Jimmy Hernandez is being pointed to the police collective agreement when he ran for the position of councilman. One of his major points being against the collective bargaining tool that the police officers have. That's kind of loading the deck against our police officers. That's not exactly a fair bargaining chip against our fine police department. So that's not a good thing for our police department. And obviously, it would seem, although I don't know if he's changed his view at this point in time, but chances are it hasn't. So police department, our police officers have an uphill battle to begin with. Also, I'd like to put the city on notice that I am going to put in a request under the Freedom of Information Act, requesting all of the personal lawsuit information against the city and the individuals in the administration that are currently pending and/or have been resolved. And that Freedom of Information Act request will be in by Friday of this week. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Godarn, if you would like to speak, make an appointment with our police chief, he can kind of let you know about what goes on for the collective bargaining and how the department has changed. And it's very positive right now. So
It was very positive for this administration.
thank you so much. Have a good day.
Yes, well, you approached me in a conversation, so I'm answering you. Welcome aboard.
Next. Oh, is there any other citizens to be heard? Thank you. Presentations and proclamations. Presentation by Andrew Gomez and Reyes Cruz from the Bexar County Office of Emergency Management, presenting on the state of Texas Emergency Assistant Registry, STEER. How you doing?
Hello, I'm Reyes Cruz. I'm with the Bexar County Office of Emergency Management. I'm the liaison officer for elected bodies. Hello, council, chiefs, and the residents here in Balcones Heights. Wanted to introduce Andrew Gomez, who's our human services technician. And always, you guys are always welcome to reach out to me if y'all need anything when it comes to emergency management and of that sort. Go ahead, Andy.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Once again, thank you for having us today. So I wanted to touch a little bit on the State of Texas Emergency Assistance Registry. This registry is what emergency managers are currently using, at least through the state of Texas, to identify those that might have any sort of access and functional needs. We identify them through this registry. This is a free voluntary registry where individuals can go to sign up for so they can be integrated into emergency management planning. It's more geared towards those with access and functional needs, disabilities, those who are considered medically fragile, have limited mobility, communication barriers, may need additional medical assistance during any sort of an emergency event. And really those who might need extra transportation services during an evacuation, things of that nature. For more assistance, if people are interested in signing up, you can call 211 or scan the QR code on these flyers that have been printed. I left some out in the by the sign-in sheet area. By all means, if you want the digital copy of this, we can provide that as well. And it is front and back, English and Spanish. So what I do with this information, I'm the Bexar County custodian for this registry. And I work with our GIS mapping teams in the event of a disaster happening. Let's take, for instance, the Duke fires that were going on in South Bexar County. I was able to coordinate half-mile radiuses of starts of fires to check for vulnerable populations. When that came out, we only had 2 pings on our mapping systems, and both of those residents were nowhere in the area at the time of the fire, so that was good. When it comes to any sort of emergency notices or evacuations, we do reach out to those residents just to let them know that there's an event going on. If we can't reach those residents, we'll work with the Bexar County Constable's office, some other teams that will go out and do wellness checks should the need arise. I do want to make it very clear that those who register on this registry does not mean that you get the first ticket out of a hot zone. This is for emergency management planning. We do take everything into consideration, but I don't want people to get the misunderstanding that, oh, I signed up on this registry. They know I'm here. They're going to get me out. Right? No, still we integrate this and we work through plannings and management, run exercises and things of that nature. Along with this, I've also provided some emergency supply kit checklist just for general awareness for residents. And we also have the e-flyer for this as well. And it's just goes into considerations for those with access and functional needs, things that people don't really think about when it comes to preparedness for their homes and their families. First aid kits, what to keep on hand for your pets, seniors, even farmers and ranchers. It shows you how to make a go bag, things of that nature. Other than that, that's pretty much all I had today, unless there's any questions.
Questions? I guess I do. Um, is this something that you're aware of already in your toolbox? The,
Yeah.
You have something that,
your mic, please.
we do have something that's kind of similar to that with the, oh man, I forgot the name of that. Where they put the notifications on like the doors or the refrigerators and let you know in need of extra assistance. You know, that.
Okay. Maria, maybe we can get some of this in our newsletter or. Well, thank you so much for coming out. It's an asset. It's another, like I said, it's another tool in our toolbox to help other than the Red Cross. I know the Red Cross does a lot, don't they?
Yes, sir.
So we're in Bear County, so we should utilize this in case of emergency.
Yes, yes. And by all means, just if nothing else, the county's here to help support with whatever might be going on when it comes to any sort of incident, disaster. Just call our office and we'll be there to help.
I also think that the mayor brought up an emergency management plan, and this fits right into what he brought up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you all.
All right, continuing on. 12. Consent agenda items. These items may be acted upon in a single motion. No separate discussion or action on these items will be held unless requested by a council member. Public comment on these items may be heard during the public comment period. However, that does not mean the item will be considered outside the consent agenda. And we've got two of them on here. It's the approval of minutes for October 27th, 2025, and approval of the finance report. Would that also be for October as well? Is there any action or discussion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
In the separate or together? Together? I have a motion by Jimmy Hernandez.
I second it.
I've got a second from Molly Weaver. Any discussion? Okay, we can take a vote. Do we have to do a roll call vote or are we just? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I refrained from voting. I was not here. I missed that meeting.
I say aye, so 4-1. Okay, business items are for discussion and consideration. Number one, we have amendments to the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 153, zoning ordinances setbacks. And that's P&Z Chairman and Nick, but
Yeah,
we're tabled those, right?
Yeah, just to provide a quick update, we're going to table the conversation. It's going to go back to planning and zoning with a request of a couple more amendments into the ordinance changes, but it'll be back up for another action item here in the next month or two.
That pertains to 4 and 5 as well.
And 4 and 5, correct. Okay, number 2, City Council will hold a public hearing to receive public comments on amending the city's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 153 zoning codes, Article 3 zoning districts and use regulations, amending 153.3.1.16 on 7001 West IH10 PUD zoning district requirements, 3 use permitted. And I guess I should read the top of this.
You can call for Nick and maybe Mr. Fisher to come up and discuss it.
Okay. Nick or,
And if you're opening it, can you state the time?
oh, well, we're not in the, it's not a public hearing.
Number 2 is public hearing.
Oh, we're moving on to public.
No.
Oh,
Number 2
yeah.
is the public hearing part, and then
Okay.
number 3 is
Okay.
the action after we discuss it.
I've got you. I'm on track again. Sorry. It's 6:15. I'm going to open the public hearing to receive public comments amending the city's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 153, zoning codes, Article 3, zoning districts and use regulations, amending 153.3.1.16, 7001 West IH10 PUD zoning district requirements and uses permitted. Nicholas, you want to, or Ian, either one?
Okay, just to quickly go over, we won't go over the presentation that was through planning and zoning, but the request by Mr. Fisher here is to add an additional permitted use into his permitted use table. This ordinance is already pre-existing. It should be included in your packet with quite a few listed permitted uses in there. So we're just looking to add in motor vehicle service and repair as a permitted use at the 7001 West IH10 PUD zoning district.
Okay. And this particular use is for a detailing, not mechanical work or anything, but it falls within the motor vehicle service and repair. So this is going to be a detailing, upscaled, waxing kind of business.
Good evening, council members, Mayor Rodriguez. Hope you get back to good health very quickly. So first of all, thank you very much for everything you've done for us for years. We've talked about this business park. We finally have it open. It took a lot of back and forth, but it's there. We've been leasing spaces now for about 3 months, and we have 19 tenants, which we think is terrific. We've tried to keep it a very clean business park. We've kept businesses like motor repair shops out of there because we don't want hoods up and everything. But we've been approached by one particular company that does upscale detailing of cars. There's no mechanical, there's no auto work whatsoever. And we think that's a perfectly fine use for our business park. It's going to be a clean shop, no engines, no noise, no disturbance, no running water over the asphalt or anything like that. It's just a detail shop. And that's why, in the spirit of a tenant for us and taxes for the city, we thought it was a permitted use. It did fall, it was batched into an ordinance that kind of made it look like it was not a fair use for a tenant, but we think it is. And that's the basis of our application.
Thank you. Nick, did you want to embellish on that? From what I understand, it falls into the code reads basically motor vehicle and service repair, but it's truly not a repair shop. It's not a mechanic shop. It's an upscale detailing, maybe film on the paint, put the high-end film, protection film on the paint. Water runoff is not an issue. I think it's just another asset to the business park.
Thank you. That's kind of the way we feel.
David Sellers?
I have a question.
Yes.
When you said water runoff is not an issue, I am concerned about the toxic runoff from mixed chemicals and whatever's on the paint. Where is that runoff running?
So what they do when they actually wash the car before, it's not a huge washing process, but they trap all the water, which is stored in barrels inside the actual unit. It evaporates out and the debris is removed every 2 weeks or so. No runoff whatsoever.
I have a question for Nick.
It is 6:20. Has anybody signed up for public comments? Okay, so there's no public comments. So I'll close the public hearing at 6:20. And then number 3 is discussion and possible action to adopt amendments on the city's code of ordinances, chapter 153 zoning codes, article 3 zoning districts, use regulations, amending 153.3.1.16 7001 West IH10 PUD district requirements, uses permitted. Do we have any action? Oh, can we do discussion before the? Okay, let's open up for discussion. Mr. Hernandez.
Okay, Nick, if you can come to the podium. I have a question, and my question is this: can we pass maybe a special provision allowing for, the wraps and the detailing? I don't like the language of service and repairs in there because I think down the road that opens us up. So
That would fall back to a different ordinance where our permitted uses definitions lie, and it wouldn't be in the 7001, the PUD zoning district. So all of our permitted uses are defined somewhere else, and that's where it lies. So we'd have to separate the definition for it to be wraps only, and then service repair and those types of items.
okay, so what would be the process then to make that special provision?
Can I get your microphone, please? Thank you.
Sorry, so guilty. This is a PUD zoning district, right? Which means it has specialized, it can have specialized definitions, and it can have specialized regulations that apply only to that particular area of the PUD. As presented, it was to use the existing definition. And if council wants to have that definition amended, and it sounds like the idea is to perhaps tighten up the uses within the PUD as they apply to this type of use, that is something that y'all can do. But I would suggest to y'all that while it is something that we can do, I don't know that it's something we can do on the fly here at the city council meeting. But you've had your public hearing on it, both at the planning and zoning. You've had your public hearing on this, so it would be a matter of making revisions to the ordinance and then bringing back the revised ordinance.
Okay. Any other, Jimmy, any more questions? Any other questions?
So I'd like to make a motion
Okay.
to amend the PUD for special provision to allow for the car detailing and wrap of vehicles. And then so if they can work on that, bring that back on the next council meeting, then we can look at that. That's my motion. I don't know if I worded it correctly, council, but.
So I would say yes. I mean, your motion is what your motion is. It's
Okay.
So, okay, we've got a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay, any discussion on what that involves, Nick?
So the motion is to bring it back at a further date with a more clarified definition. Is that my understanding? No, to my understanding, we'll just go through another public hearing process with planning and zoning. Correct, Mr. Trevino?
you would not be required to have to go through another
Second one.
a second one. You've
Okay.
already had that public hearing. You've got a recommendation from council, from the
Planning and zoning.
PNC, and council can accept that recommendation with the proposed amendment.
Okay, so it just sounds like we'll be back here next month, and then we'll bring it up with a little more clear details on what we're looking to pass for permitted use.
With remove the language about service and repairs.
Yeah. So we're looking at just detailing. We're removing that from the definition and separating it from everything else. Yeah.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second on the table. Any other discussion? Ian, did you want to?
So my question is one of timing, because it's taken us about 6 weeks to go through this process. This tenant is doing nothing but detailing. Is there any possibility that the council can get a C of O so that he can at least start doing business? Because he has no business whatsoever doing repairs or mechanical. I understand exactly the point of what you're making, but my point is that something we can do? Because that's what his business is. I want to get him started because he's been paying rent, but he hasn't moved in yet.
Counselor, we can't go with just amending and putting it in that way so he doesn't have to wait another month.
So give me one moment to check on something real quickly,
Thank you.
and I will verify for you.
Oh, Tracy, you have a question?
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Can't we just approve this and then if we're going to do the research, then research and then come up with an amendment to tighten what he's saying? Instead of trying to stop him from doing business, turn him loose. And then if we want to change the code, let's change the code. Let's find out where it is and then next month come back and say, okay, we're going to change the code to tighten because we're only talking to this one person right now. It's not like we're going to have everybody and their brother's going to come out and open an auto shop in the next month. I wouldn't think.
Council Ebersol, thank you for stating that better than I did.
Well, here's my concern. I know Ian and I trust what he's saying is true, but what if down the road he sells the property or, does something else? We have new ownership. If we pass that ordinance for service and repairs, it's there. So somebody else down the road can come in. So that's my concern, is that I don't want to pass the ordinance leaving it open like that.
That is the concern, right? And what I'm double checking is I don't know that y'all have a temporary C of O option. I'm going to check to Nick to see.
Okay, can he restate his action or with the temporary C of O?
Right.
Just draw a line through repair and say service.
The issue with making that kind of change on the fly is we don't know whatever else we are affecting, right? And so you can certainly do it, but just know that there are risks of things that we're not aware of, right? The unintended consequence of making a change that hasn't been fully vetted and reviewed by staff.
So
I think what it means is you're specializing it for this one person, this one case. But when you do that, if anybody else comes along, and they have something different, then we're going to have to change it again for that particular case.
Right, because this
Okay,
this is a PUD ordinance that covers the entire property. And so we just need to make sure that if that is the definition that you want, we want to make sure we get it right and not have to touch it again and again in the event. So council member, you're free to rescind your motion. Y'all can make it, as is. We'll make those changes. But I just warn council, it is very difficult for us to make big changes like that on the fly during a council meeting to an ordinance.
Well, I'll go ahead and rescind my motion and I'd like to make a new motion.
okay, then she needs to rescind her second. Who seconded? Molly, you seconded?
I didn't second, he did.
Oh, David second. So you want to rescind your second? Oh, so you want it to stand? Okay, so we're back to neutral now, correct, Counselor? Okay, do I have any action on the floor?
I just want to say thank you for clarifying that. That is a good point.
Thank you, Mr. Sellers. I'd like to make a motion to approve the PUD, but to change the wording, remove the word service and repair and add in that they can use special use for detailing, auto detailing and wraps.
Counselor?
Does that mean we're going to amend it on the fly?
So,
Exactly how you worded it, and just understand that's what's gonna happen with this budget.
okay.
I just want to jump in really here. So if it's a special use, then we would have to have this applicant come in for a special use permit, correct? Or
You can add to it.
just this single use?
This,
Okay, all right.
this niche. Do I have a second? We've got a motion on the floor. Do I
Well,
have a
Jimmy, is
second?
this just in addition
Okay.
to the service and repair? It's going to be to include detailing?
Any service and repair. but
There's,
It'll include all the other services. Now.
So we're not changing, we're not taking away anything, we're just adding to it. That's what I wanted to clarify. Okay. Second the motion.
I've got a motion on the table and a second by Ms. Weaver. Any other discussion? Let's call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0 passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for understanding. This is an outstanding retired major from the Marines, and he's eager to get going, and we're perfectly comfortable with that amendment. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks.
We just had to put on our thinking caps a little bit. All right, we're tabling items number 4 and 5. Item number 6, discussion and possible action amending the city's code of ordinances, chapter 150, building regulations, article 4, residential rental property registrations and inspection program. Nick, or yes.
City Council, Chiefs, Mayor, I was here last month regarding just, speaking on what we were wanting to do, get changes in it. Our counselor here is amazing. She did a wonderful job. So in your package here, it's going to be under 150.43, reoccurring violations. This is something that's going to give us a tool as myself and for the city to get a clamp on what our issue is with the apartments. Going over it, definitely the verbiage is a lot more easier than what I was going against, but that's why we have our wonderful counselor here. Just stemming down, giving it a run through. It's exactly what we need as a city to make sure that we are getting these apartments where they need to be. Going over it, if y'all have it in front of you, if not, I can try to read off it just briefly. An owner landlord fails to correct a violation in a city code or applicable state within the time specified in notice of violation. A property fails 2 or more inspections, exhibits continued non-compliance with city code. That is exactly what has been going on for some time. It hasn't been in our ordinance. I wasn't able to enforce it, and I know our other code officers wasn't able to enforce it. This is exactly what we need, along with the amendments in page 24, Exhibit B is going over our reinspection fees. We went from 200 for the first reinspections to 350. Second reinspection stays at 350, but that gives them more of a, like, hey, we need to get these apartment complexes where they need to be. Let's get things rolling. Third, subsequent reinspection, reoccurring violation inspection fee, that's 350 plus another 200 for per reinspection. Now, once they hit that third, that's where the reoccurring violations come in. That's where our city code comes in, steps in, and puts them on this program. Immediately would be a $500 one-time fee, and from there they would be on our probationary period, which would cost more visits to these apartment complexes more frequently for myself to go in there and get them where they need to be at. Now, let's see.
Also, I did notice, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no,
I did notice you're asking for 5 days instead of 10.
Yes.
And 10 days instead of 20.
Yes, sir, depending on the circumstances.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
just wanted to get that in there.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But this is up for action. I know last month was the discussion. So hopefully we can get things rolling, get the ball going. As far as the rental inspection, that is something that is done with us with iWorks. So that's something we can do in-house to give it a little bit more of I guess tedious inspection for myself to get them where they need to be at.
Just out of curiosity, and you can just spitball it for me if you will.
Yes, sir.
How many violators do you actually encounter?
As far as the apartment complex, sir,
Quite a few?
majority, 95% of our apartment complexes are where we don't want them to be. But I have been in constant communication. So bringing this to them, I'm gonna hand this over if it does get approved, hand them to the property management and say, we got this passed. So let's not get on this list.
This gives you a little bit more bite to take.
Oh, yes, sir. 100%.
Experiencing.
Yes, sir, Mr. Burton.
Okay. Is there anybody that has any questions? Mr. Sellers?
Yes. All this verbiage in here, is this mirroring another community?
As far as mirroring City of San Antonio,
How
sir?
did you come up with all the contracts in the statement?
So,
Did you mirror Castle Hills or somewhere else?
so obviously our big sister here would be City of San Antonio, mirroring it off of that, but also tailoring it to our city of Balcony Heights on what we need specifically as a city.
I just received my packet today.
Yes, sir.
My computer was down, and so I had to verbally, physically come in and get it. And this is a whole lot to read in one day to absorb and
Note that
on the
the
front, I think it's a good idea, but it's just a lot to absorb in one day.
So Councilman Sellers, so I drafted the language based on the parameters that were provided to me from staff. And so there are a number of cities across the state of Texas that have very similar language. But what we did do was take out those portions that are not applicable to the city because Balcones Heights is general law. And so you all cannot do some of the things that the home rule cities do. So those things that y'all are not allowed to do, we took those out of any of the sample documents that I was reviewing and using for our verbiage. So this is tailored for y'all as a type A general law city.
May I
Thank you.
speak?
Mr. Hernandez, do you have any more questions?
Well, I was just going to tell Mr. Sellers, this was a discussion item last meeting, and council directed them to proceed. And so this is step 2. So it is a lot in one day, but this is the second time we're meeting on it.
Note, please, that the changes or the updates are in blue. So most of the ordinance is the way it was. It's just a section in blue.
And I would point out, it's in Exhibit A, the recurring violations. And then the other one was the days. Of inspection have been narrowed from 10 to 5 days. And not to exceed 10 days. It was 20 days. It's tightened there. And then the fee schedule is the only other thing that's basic.
Yes, sir.
So, do you have anything else, Mr. Self?
Did take a couple hours today, and I went through it. And I think some of the fines are a little high, but perhaps they need to be. I make a motion to approve it.
And we've got a motion on the floor from Mr. Sellers. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We've got a second. Any other discussion? Let's call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0, passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman, Mayor, Chiefs.
Okay, next on our list. You second it, but yeah, you made. Okay, number 7. Discussion possible action regarding purchasing old building and property on Gentleman or any other property in Balcones Heights. Our city administrator, Maria Hernandez.
So, looking into finding a place to call home because we are being evicted. Now, no, we need to find a place to move. And we saw that this is a good spot to start looking, to maybe build a city hall. And I know it's not gonna happen, within the next year. But we need to start looking for a place. One of the properties used to belong to the city, and it was sold last year, I think, or the prior year. Is 201 Algill and 203. Right now, they're for sale, both properties, and I think it will be good for the city to start thinking about buying them and being able to build either city hall there or put public works. We need more land because we need to have public works somewhere so we can get more parking space at the community center. And there's another property, the 616 Gentleman Road, also for sale that the city can purchase to be able to put a city hall there. So I wanted to know what y'all think about that.
If I may, I think maybe purchasing and deciding on which properties that we want to purchase maybe should be done in an executive session so that we not kind of spill the beans and let the owners know yet that we're kind of interested in those properties. That was just my only comment. Counselor, do you have any?
So until you actually get to the point of negotiating your deal, general discussions or giving a directive to the city manager in open session is fine.
Okay.
Because we don't know at this point if the city council even wants to entertain the thought.
So, city council, any discussion on this?
May I be recognized?
Jimmy?
I have a couple of questions for Maria on 201 Aljo. That is a small building, so you think that is sufficient?
No. It's just purchasing that property plus the Jackson property, which is 203.
Okay.
That we had been talking about maybe having like a small museum, putting different pictures from the city, because I think that was the first courthouse of the city or municipal government building. There you go, first city hall. So that's why I was
Boy Scout meeting.
was surprised that it was sold instead of keeping it. But yes, that's what we were thinking. Maybe that will make a good museum, just to put items from the past in there.
Well, I'm in favor of the city purchasing the properties or looking for a property for either a museum or for a new city hall. So that's my feeling on it.
Are you done, Jimmy?
Jimmy and staff and everybody, that building is the only historical building in all of Balcony Heights. It was the first building built, and I was against selling it to begin with. I think we should keep that building. If we could keep it without buying the house next to it, You know, I'm just inputting, okay, so y'all roll it around.
I'd like to mention there's I didn't find out that the two properties had sold till it was already sold by a previous city administrator that, but then the two properties came before council, and the owner at the time that has it, I guess now, he had the properties replatted as one property. So we would need to, it's no longer, what is it, 201 and 203? Or
It's still two properties.
It's still two properties, yes.
But
That skinny property is about 4,000 square feet, 4,500 square feet, that entire property. And the house next door is a separate parcel.
Then what was the use of replatting it as one property?
I don't think it ever was replatted as one
It
property.
was, there was a council vote on it. It was replatted to one property.
It must not have gotten pushed through to Bear County then, because if I go through the county appraisal district, it is still showing us two different properties.
I would definitely look into it. That doesn't make a decision on anything I'm discussing tonight, but it was replatted as two properties. I remember voting on it.
I can look and do some research to look old minutes. And also I went into the BCAT and saw that there were two properties, but sometimes they take a while to register them. But I can double check on that and see what happened.
But
find
that
out
would have
what
been
happened.
done in the Gilbert Perales administration. But the agenda reads discussion and possible action regarding the purchasing of old building property on anywhere, I guess on Gentleman, it doesn't say here. So do we have any action?
Jack, if I may. With the input that we've had concerning number 7, I amend that we table this for further discussion.
This would not be just for that part of property. It's there's different properties on
That we
Gentleman.
need to look in, and that's what I'm saying. We need to look into it further.
Do I have a motion?
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Council, so do we need to make a motion or can we just give the
Direction.
city administrator direction to start, researching and possible to bring to the council?
So you can do it either way. You can actually have a full-on motion for it, or just by general consensus, you can instruct the city manager to continue research and bring back information to y'all.
I would prefer that if you guys are in agreement, just to give her direction to do so.
Okay, so let's just, I guess we're just gonna call it table this and give city manager.
Yeah, just make the announcement that the consensus is to give the city manager the directive to research further.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
we're giving the city manager directive to investigate the properties on Gentleman. And we don't need we don't need a vote on that.
You guys good with that? Good.
We're all good? All right. Number 8.
Okay.
Kathleen Kirk. Discussion and possible action regarding deciding on the date and time for the Christmas parade. And this one's on me. So I've talked with Chrissy on the old Christmas parades that we used to do and asked questions as far as where she used to start from, what the path would be, et cetera. And I got she said that they never did anything over on Burl and Hanish Streets, which they're residents. I think somehow we should try and include that. I don't know what we need from PD to get an escort, because we're going to be traveling down Fredericksburg Road, Crossroads Boulevard, and Dewhurst. So I don't know what was involved with that logistics.
So we would need to understand the route, understand the time of day, and then we would have to set up roadblocks in the areas where you need to cross. You'd have to have a physical police presence at all those intersections, then collapsing as we move forward, but then still have an escort to be sure you get through in front and behind to secure the parade.
Another thing is I really want the police department involved in this, and I would like a fire truck involved in this. If Chaplain Kirk has anything he'd like to bring. We've had car shows, or the people from the car show with their show cars and stuff. Time of day. We've never had a night type of parade. I don't know if that involves more because it's at night. The floats are going to be lit possibly. So
We'd have to look at the logistics on that and see the amount of traffic count that we'd be dealing with.
Okay.
So as being at night, obviously we need to be more visible.
And then any participation, do you know if Blue Santa is participating in the city this year?
So I've reached out to the association. They are the ones that are in charge of Blue Santa. And I've had Joe Bravo also in contact with Cody Schillings, Officer Schillings.
Okay. And anybody that would like to, we've had possibly one offer for a Santa Claus to borrow from the mall. But any of y'all's input I would appreciate the help. So Ms. Weaver?
I've heard when Balcones Heights had a parade before, we used to have a blue Santa, which meant that the police department would put their prettiest blue uniform on and come around and pretend they were Santa. So do we have somebody like that would like to volunteer?
So I know the association does have a Blue Santa outfit. So that was part of the collaboration with Officer Schillings to set that up for the events this year.
So we're going to set that up too, including a red Santa?
Well, I don't know if you need both, but it's totally up to you. And I mean, that'd be kind of neat to see both collaborating together.
That would be cute, but I mean, the poor kids would be going, okay, what happened here?
I think the end result of the parade is to come up to the Justice Center for the Christmas tree lighting, correct?
Right, for the lighting, I believe, right?
So that pretty much narrows the date down then. Is that on a Saturday?
Yes, that's Saturday the 6th.
Saturday the 6th.
Not much time.
2 weeks.
So if we could possibly do it gets dark kind of early.
Real
So
early.
You could have some little bit of light so everybody is seen, and we make sure that the floats are lit as well, so that it's obvious we're having a parade. So if it's at 6 p.m., possibly you think 2 hours is ample enough? 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Anybody? I'm open.
So what time are you looking to start, sir?
If the Christmas tree lighting is at 6 p.m.
Okay.
To get through the city up and down all the streets, do you think an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Where are you? What's the start location?
I would suggest, since the parking lot is fenced off now, that we start maybe on the side of the mall, and let's try and include possibly leaving from the mall, taking Crossroads Boulevard under I-10, going up Dewhurst.
I would recommend to start on the other side. Start right there by the church.
That's right.
Knock out those two and then come across.
Okay, that's good. Started.
So
St. Gregory's.
That's what I was going to suggest. There on Dewhurst at the parking lot there across the street from St. Gregory's Church. Start from there.
Yep.
That should be your starting location.
Yep.
And from that point, come this way back to City Hall.
Start at St. Gregory's, come down Dewhurst,
Correct.
come
To
down
Crossroads.
the furthest one, which would be, I get them mixed up. Come come down Hanish first, take the access road past the business park, and then come down Burl, and then back down Dewhurst to Crossroads. That way, you're not, you can't, you can only go one way on Burl Street. So
So
start,
you want to make a loop and then come back down Dewhurst?
yeah, because that's the only way you're going to be able to do it without going, you understand what I'm saying? If you're at St. Gregory's,
Correct.
and we go all the way down to Hanish, come up right there where the business park is, come back up, finish Burl Street, then go down Dewhurst under I-10. Okay, now we're at I-10. We've got to make a decision whether to take the access road to go to Balcones Heights Road and start on that end, and then start weaving our way back and forth on.
Can we consider having the parade some other day, because it will be two major events on one day, and the staff would like to participate on the parade. And if we participate in the parade, we won't be able to speak here getting ready for the lighting of the Christmas tree.
Any suggestions on dates?
I have another suggestion, and that is, I think we should just pick a date and a time, but allow the chief to determine the route.
I'm okay with that.
You know, rather than us try to figure out the details, I think the chief would be the best person to
I
determine
would
that route.
prefer that if you don't mind. That way I can set the route and understand the logistics of where we're going,
Thank you.
to try to make it safe for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
And then I have another question, Jack. You said floats. Do we actually have floats already being made, or?
Maybe I misspoke. We were thinking maybe if we could find a long trailer and put some bales of hay on there and decorate it with lights. And then the mayor would be in his vehicle with the mayor's signature sign on the door or somewhere on the vehicle, and some car show cars. And
Couldn't we ask some of the businesses if they'd like to participate, to where they would make their own float? To,
we
you know, to, what do
we
you
did
call
reach
it?
out to Sid White,
Advertise, yeah.
and he
advertise their
offered
company.
he offered a Santa Claus possibly, but that's not set in stone. I don't know how serious he was about that. Any of I'm sorry.
Perhaps we can reach out to the Shriners. I know they got a bunch of little cars and stuff like that. They like to do those events.
Okay.
And the mayor gave some thoughts today. I sent to Maria and Roy about getting the cart from maybe the Flambeau people, to call them, plus the truck and car people, the older vintage ones, and a few other things. I wrote it all down and gave it to them as well.
Mr. Muncie, George Muncie is a good logistical person for that. He's got some really nice, like an old 30s or 20s pickup truck, and has a car with a rumble seat in it, and maybe Santa can sit in the rumble seat. And I would love to see anybody from staff, including police and fire, if available, to. I would like to have something to throw out, possibly some candies or just something with Balcones Heights name on it, if we could, to market our city. But you're on notice, so any suggestions are greatly accepted.
And as far as a date, Jack, we really only have two other Saturdays, the 13th or the 20th before Christmas. So just got to kind of decide which one's better.
Let me look up my calendar. December.
Mr. Burton, if I can make a recommendation.
Yes, sir,
The
please.
13th would probably be the better, because you're getting too close to actual Christmas if you do the 20th. And it's my experience, and I know I'm just a guy, but we're usually scrambling, trying to get our better halves their presents. So I would suggest earlier than later.
Okay.
I would also probably suggest maybe I'll reach out to St. Gregory's, see if they want to participate, since they are in our city. and maybe another school, if they want to be involved.
Okay. So tentatively, we're looking now at the 13th of December. And then Chief, would you prefer morning or would you prefer evening or?
Well, it depends on the effect of what you're trying to achieve. If you want the effect of the lighting, obviously we're gonna have to get a little closer to dusk, especially if you want the lighting of the Christmas tree involved.
Okay. Well, with the Christmas tree is not going to be involved now at this point. 'Cause
You
that'll
don't want
be
to make
lit
it
up-
back to the Christmas tree?
Yeah, she wanted to make it two separate. Maria wants to make it.
Well,
two
that's fine,
separate
but the
events.
Christmas tree will be lit if you want to have an end result at the Christmas tree.
Oh, that's, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that's
true.
what I was saying, not the actual lighting, because I understand it's going to be on the 6th, is that correct? Yes. But I think a termination of the parade will be here where you can stop in front of the city
Okay.
facility with Christmas.
I'm gonna make a recommendation to do it in the morning because it is gonna be the Christmas season. People are gonna be out shopping. So if you catch them early, I think we'll have, better participation from the residents.
So we've got a morning from Mr. Hernandez. Anybody else? We've normally had them in the morning, like 9 or 10 in the morning. But the thought was that if we were gonna light, and that's one less thing to do, lighting the trailer, so that we're more visible. I mean, you can't get more visible than a giant fire truck and a bunch of police cars going down the street and having their sirens and saying Merry Christmas and stuff. So, so the consensus is morning or mid-morning to help with visibility.
Mid-morning.
Okay.
What time are we thinking? 10?
Maybe stage at 9 and have the parade at 10.
What about 11? You're on, the stores open at 10 or 9. You're right. You're right.
10. Okay. So far set in stone. We're going to let our chief come up with a nice route. Next, it'll be on Saturday, December 13th. We'll stage, depending on the route. I'll leave that carte blanche to the chief. And the parade ends at the Justice Center.
So we
And-
stage at 9 and then start it at 10
Stage at 9, that gives us an hour to get everybody
and then start it at 10.
all on the same page. And I'm sorry?
Can I ask a question? What time does the mall open on Saturdays?
I would think
10. Isn't it 10? I think it's 10.
It opens
Maybe 9 is the mall
during
itself.
the holidays, they usually extend their, their shopping hours.
I'm just considering the amount of traffic to deal with. If it opens at 9, we might want to start earlier. If it opens at 10, just
Start
depending
early.
on the hour that
Okay.
the mall
Well,
actually opens.
We'll play with that. We'll get some more information on that as far as the stage time and the actual parade time.
Yes, sir.
Once we're out of their hair and we're within the city, I don't see a problem.
The only issue, I want to be sure I get you all across the highway with minimal issues and the amount of traffic.
And that there, I can ask for direction here to some divine intervention. I was told by the person who used to do the parade, they never did Hanish or Burl. I don't know if that's something you want to continue on with, or do you want to, I just kind of feel that, they're kind of as old Mr. Hanish used to say, I'm from the north side of the city,
Across the tracks.
Yeah, he's across the tracks. So I would like to include them in it if possible, but if not, if it's a logistical problem, then we'll just carry on as per like we done it in the past. I did ask her about, what about the streets like where Mr. Herbert and Johnny live? She didn't do those sections because they would have to come up onto Fredericksburg Road and come down. So it's mainly just down Gentleman and all the streets. And maybe we can get them to, we can get it out in the newsletter and on the sign that, you know, come down to Gentleman, and they're going to hear the commotion. You can hear it. Well, I'm just saying, logistically, you pop up on Fredericksburg and it's what? It's 4 or 5 streets, so I'm just giving you insight on past. They didn't do those because of the going up onto Fredericksburg Road. He'll let us know if it's doable. And then and fashion it in such a way that we can still hit Shady View. So, because we'll end up having to come back up either Crestview or Hillcrest to Crestview or Hillcrest to end it at the Justice Center, whichever way you decide.
Okay.
But I would like to maximize coverage areas. So this was just a discussion and action. I think we'll table this one. And now that everybody knows, you can, I'm sorry, Counselor?
Right, so we're not tabling it. Y'all are going to give direction for date and time.
Right. So we're going to give direction to the chief and
And route.
Maria for dates and time and route. Is that good?
So I think the consensus is the 13th in the morning, and the chief's gonna calculate the route, right?
The time
Okay.
and the route, whether it's going to be
Time and the route, there you go.
staging at 8 a.m. for a 9 a.m. parade or staging at 9 a.m. for a 10 a.m. parade.
Jack,
Yes.
Who's going to be responsible for reaching out to what vehicles are going to be in the parade? In the past, we've had fire trucks, police cars, we've had tractors, old cars. Who's going to reach out and gather all that up?
We're in the process of doing that right now. Why are you volunteering anything or what?
Raid. I mean, the last one I remember and had since, but Dixie Lindsay at Siesta Motel was in the parade. You know, I mean, they had lawnmowers and tractors and cop cars, fire trucks, and old cars. And who's going to gather all that up?
That's been put on my plate. So I'm reaching out. I'm reaching out to Victoria at the mall for any help that we can get from the mall. Any businesses that want to participate, that would be great.
Miss David, does your tractor run? The one from your yard? Oh,
Oh, any rate. All right, so
All right, so we again, we either need a motion or a consensus on the directive to staff on what it is, date, time.
okay, so I'm giving Chief Cavazos directive. Ooh, that's a big word for for staging times, route, and we pretty much narrowed down the date to the 13th. We're all good with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
And so the question you asked, is that the consensus of council?
is this the consensus of council? Should we call for a vote on it or?
no, consensus is fine.
Okay, so we all understand then? All right, let's move on. We beat the horse.
Okay, I beat the horse a little more. Everybody talk to Jack when if you want to volunteer.
No.
Spread
All
the
right.
word, you're the man.
All right, here we go. Number 9, discuss discussion and possible action to appoint Councilman Hernandez to represent the city council in the collective bargaining agreement. Would you be interested in fulfilling that spot?
Sir.
Okay. Do we have any discussion about this? Okay, I call for a motion.
What does that actually involve?
He would be in the collective bargaining agreement negotiations with the police chief and the BH or the Texas, what's it called? The Texas Association of Police Officers? Or
Would that be until,
yes, Texas Municipal Police Officers Association.
would that be just until the collective agreement expires?
Well, it comes in, when's the next agreement? It's
2027.
2027 it expires, right? So that he's on that until then?
He's for 2 years.
Okay,
He's gonna be here.
okay, that's cool.
So, again, any motion?
Make a motion to appoint Councilman Hernandez to represent police collective agreement.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Second from Ms. Weaver. Any more discussion on it? Any more? Okay, let's call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Abstain from the vote.
Aye. 4-1. Four ayes, 1 abstain. Motion passes. Okay, next one. Discussion and possible action to approve resolution 2025-R, vote for 2026 election of Bear County Appraisal District Board of Directors. You've got a list in your packet. Let's see if I can find mine. In the past, it's been generally we have donated our vote to another municipality, but we've got some good candidates in there. Ms. Gonzalez, Ivalis Gonzalez, from the city of San Antonio, and Dr. Ralph Barksdale from Bear County, and Roland Ramirez from Southside Independent School District. Do y'all have a consensus of who you, it's one person, it's one out of those, or one out of the whole list. If you want to look at Gerard Lopez, Lee Martinez, or Becky Ruiz, those are all up for this position. I'm not going to steer anybody any direction, but I gave who I thought would be good. Maria, do you have any suggestion on this, or?
No, I think Ivalis Mesa Gonzalez, she's a council member for the city of San Antonio.
Is there any discussion, or would you like to make a motion?
Do we need to make a vote or a motion or?
Make a motion and a second to,
I'd like to make a motion to vote for Ivalis Mesa Gonzalez.
I second the motion.
okay, we've got a motion and a second on the table. Any other discussion? No other discussion? Would you like me to recommend this? The one time he's quiet, isn't he? He was just saying that Gerard Lopez is helping us on the trans-oriented redevelopment for the EDC Alamo Colleges district. And he was just mentioning that as a possibility. But we have a first and a second on the table for Miss Avilas Meza Gonzalez. So we've got a first and a second on the table. Let's call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So 5-0 passes for Miss Gonzalez. All right, we do not have an executive session, but we do have department updates. Maria?
Nick is gonna give his update.
I'm going to go over the large topics here, and then if anybody has any questions on the report, I'm more than happy to go over it in a little more detail. But just want to give an update on street projects. Hillcrest Road reconstruction, we're still at a 60% design phase. That's been like that for about 3 or so months here. SAWS has taken quite a bit of time to review their infrastructure upgrades, but the needle's moving there with that reconstruction. Crestview Phase 2, this completed in late July. All of our documents have been submitted to Bear County for closure. Reimbursement's already finished. We're all done with that project. But this is the first time that I've been able to update on everybody. So last time you'll see Crestview Phase 2. Crestview Phase 3, in survey phase, 60% completion of design. Projected start date is Q1 of 2026. I don't want to narrow down to a month or anything like that, but it is closely upcoming here. I know our city engineer is likely going to be coming in the next month or two to give an update on that project, but bids will start, or requests for consideration is going to start coming out pretty soon here.
May I make a comment?
Yep.
I've heard rumblings in the neighborhood that the cuts on Phase 2 are getting a little bumpy. And so if at all possible, if they could,
Can I add to that?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I have the floor? I noticed that you spent $700 in asphalt repairs, potholes. I'm asking if you to spend a little bit more to fix those cuts in the road. Because the homeowner that lives there actually on his own dollar brought in some gravel and put on those cuts, and they're starting to get worse again.
So I made a call to the city engineer earlier today. I wasn't able to get a hold of him, but our plan is to contact him and start working with CPS, since they were the ones that initially made those cuts in the road, and have them repair them. I'm hesitant to, throw asphalt at it, since we're going to rip up the road in the next 2 months. But, the temporary solution is to get, CPS out here to.
In a few months,
Yeah,
like this week or.
CPS. The plan is to get them out here as soon as they can to start filling that back in. I know Pete does have, with Public Works, has some material left over. If we can't, move anything with CPS, we're going to repair it. But the primary goal is to get CPS to do it.
And it makes that project more expensive when we're going to just rip it right out in 2 months. So
Mayor Pro Tem, that is my primary goal, to get CPS to fix that. That way they don't get in the habit of doing things like this. They should have fixed it regardless of whether or not we're going to fix that road. Every time that they come into our city, and if they're going to cut the street, they're going to have to fix it to where it's better than what they found.
And unfortunately, Crestview is a different animal than we've had with all of our other streets, because it's such a long street. We had to break it down into 3 phases. So we're rounding third. We're heading for home here. So it'll be But would like to see, you know, maybe some smoother transitions there.
Like I said, we're nearing the finish line here. So Crestview, all of Crestview will be done by the end of the spring. So we're close to it. But like Maria said, we're going to talk to CPS and make sure it gets finished here. To move on here, Brownfield grant, the quarterly report was submitted at the end of October by our contractor Terracon. Site inventory is being internally reviewed by Terracon. Once they've reviewed their sites that they've identified as possible brownfields targets, then they're going to share that with us, and then we can kind of go from there and start identifying. Our primary goal is to share that with y'all and with the EDC, and see what phases we want to start looking for redevelopment here. It was on hold for the past 6 weeks or so with the federal government being furloughed, but now that everything's kind of back up and running, expect that to start again. Larger projects here, 7001 West Side H10, that was Ian Fisher, he was here earlier. As he mentioned, certificate of occupancies are being issued pretty steadily. So that's great for the city. More tax revenues coming in, more services, more amenities for all your residents, for all your businesses. It's going to continue to go. And I would say 15 and 20% is actually occupied. So there's quite a bit more property that's going to be leased out over time. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy, because you are there. Is that right? 15, 20% is actually occupied. So, but it will fill up over time here. 43 Fredericksburg Road is the new Scooters Coffee. Trades are requesting their inspections. The project is almost closed out. A few hiccups with utilities, but they're anticipating opening mid-December, somewhere around there. But prior to the end of the year, that project will be closed out. Dave & Buster's, this is a project that was registered with TDLR a couple months ago. They just submitted for a plan review. It is a very large-scale project. I think they put in for about $700,000 worth of renovations there. So expect some quite a few more permits to start coming in for that project. A larger update here, I just want to touch base on our homeless outreach. This is a program that Jeremy had launched back last month. I wasn't able to give an update, but we're 2 months into this program starting. The second, abatement process took place today. It has been very successful. Jeremy's been out there, providing resources at many of the hotspots for encampments, making sure that they're educated, knowing that where they can go, where they can receive any resources. Jeremy's been coordinating with the police department, but he's taken a huge lead on this and making sure that we're not only addressing the issue, but in the right way and giving them as much help as we can assist them with, along with making sure that the community is cleaned up. We did abate Wendy's bolt times. They've been invoiced, so expect something from them as well. This is not just the city just doing it just to help people out here, Residential program, I won't go over that too much. We've already passed everything, but that is going to, that ordinance amendment is going to help us tremendously. Expect apartments to be cleaned up in a sense in the next, 6 months. It's really going to help us make sure that standard of living is increased for all of our residents here, and they're going to see a very large difference. Public Works Department, they're doing day-to-day items, landscaping all their items, but they've patched quite a bit of potholes along Hillcrest Road. If there's any additional that you see, please let me know, because like Mr. Sell has mentioned, we did purchase a good amount of asphalt. It's not nearly enough to cover those street cuts at Crestview, but the small ones that we see throughout the neighborhoods, we would be more than happy to repair those for all of our residents. Signage has been repaired. I know that this was directed towards us towards the beginning of the fall here. Turn lane signs, stop signs, all those have been starting to get new signage that way. Chevron signs around corners. We're making sure that these are upkept and not fading away, giving the city a bad image here. And then with the park cleanup at Rogier's, initial phases have started with that. Public Works is involved. They've done some pressure washing. I know pressure washing was done over the weekend along with Roy and Maria doing the park cleanup. We're getting bids for tree trimming. We received 2 bids. I'm going to present a little more on that next month, but we're making sure that this is getting taken care of as one of the first items. Any questions on anything that I've covered or any of the reports that I've submitted over?
during the Dave and Buster's project, will they be shutting down or will they work around their business as they do these
I
remodels?
haven't had the chance to look at what permit they've submitted for, so I'm not sure if it's going to be shut down during the renovation period or not.
And then on the, I'll get you in a second. On the signage, I would definitely like to see the one as you're coming up Hillcrest and you dead end to Fredericksburg Road. It's the turn ones. The letters are just literally melted off the sign.
That was replaced about 2 months ago.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I hadn't noticed that, but
Yeah.
just.
That was one of the first ones that we hit in the new budget cycle. Yeah.
And then I just want to say, thanks to everybody that came out and helped with the park the other day. Mr. Herbert was out there in his scooter, picking up stuff with driving around the park on a scooter. So thank you, Mr. Herbert, for helping out. Mr. Herbert. I just want to tell you, thank you for coming out to help with the park cleanup.
Say it again. Thank you for helping.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Thank you.
Okay, Tracy?
I was going to say, I did go over and talk to David Buster's management the other day, and they said they're trying to have a grand reopening coming up in March sometime toward the late, and they wanted our city involved, the fire department, the police and stuff like that. They wanted to do a bigger deal with the city, have the mayor go out and do a ceremony, grand reopening and things like that. They're excited about this. Like, obviously, it seems like they're sinking some money in it. And so that's what I found out after talking to the management over there.
Okay. Anything else for Nick or Jeremy? David?
Yes, I just want you to keep us updated on the bids for the park. You had mentioned before about having our maintenance men do the tree trimming, and I voiced my opinion about that. It seems like they can't really keep up with what their duties are now. So bids would be good.
Yeah. So
Just keep us postponed.
yeah,
Or updated on that.
I'll definitely. I've spoken to Maria about, making sure that we have, certified professionals out there, maintaining the trees, and we're not causing any disease or damage or anything to the trees where they're starting to wilt away or die over time. So once we receive all the bids that, necessary that we need, they'll be presented. We'll make sure that we're moving forward with the right people here.
And I'm sure they need to be insured and bonded.
They will, yes. I just want to highlight one more item here on the monthly report, your chart here. Just highlighting, Jeremy, I want you to notice the difference between code cases from the previous year to this year. I know code is a very hot topic, and as always, we're not doing enough. But month over month, we've been, improving, and from cases last year at this similar time frame, we're looking at 10 to 20 cases, and Jeremy's been consistently hitting between 60 to 80 cases a month. So we're making sure that we're really, hitting down and like I said, raising the standard of the city here.
Well, just from my point of view, you both have been doing a stellar job. I think y'all are really, you're earning your pay. You really are. You're doing a really great job, both of you. I just want everybody to know that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, any other questions for Nick or Jeremy or anything? Oh, Mr. Sellers.
Has anything been done about the bathrooms at the park?
In what sense? I mean,
We've talked about it.
Nothing major has been done at the bathrooms. I know that there was a good amount of cleaning done over the weekend with the park cleanup. Weekly, we do a cleanup, but Maria and I were talking earlier today about, what major upgrades we should be doing and bringing them to a little more update with in a cost-effective manner. So, yeah.
May I be recognized?
Yes, Mr. Hernandez.
To answer your question, our own city administrator, Maria, was out there cleaning those restrooms herself this weekend. Thank you, Maria.
Yes.
So I talked to an architect today. We had a meeting, Mr. Enriquez and I, with him, And we're gonna bring him over to the park and to the fire station to start getting ideas on how we can improve those areas. To the park, I was thinking there are 2 stalls in each restroom. I was thinking to just have one and make it ADA compatible. So right now, I don't think a wheelchair can fit there through the door. And there's no doors in the stall, so 2 people cannot be there unless you're family. So 2 people cannot be using those restrooms. So everything it has good bones on the outside, but we need to be able to replace everything in the inside. But a little bit at a time. My sister, who is a civil engineer, she has sent me several contacts to try to start getting grants for the park. And hopefully we can get, if not all the money that we need, a little bit at a time, from one grant from here, another one from there, we can come up with money to really fix those restrooms. And the park is a very nice area with all those mature trees. We just need to clean them up and keep up with them.
Okay. And just a question, was Zach able to get you those grant forms from Craftworks Playgrounds?
Yes, I got those.
Okay.
Mhm.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Nick. And thank you, Jeremy. Like I said, you guys are the best and you're doing a great job. It's not unnoticed. All right. Chief, it's your turn.
Can I get your microphone, sir? Thank you.
I forget about the microphone. I speak so loud as it is. Yeah. I think everybody's seen the progress that we made here at the facility. Hopefully everybody likes the way the fence looks. We will try to implement the actual closing of the gates, hopefully within the next week or so. I need to get a head count of the number of staff. Did you? Okay. I haven't been by the computer. So that I can get appropriate amount of clickers for people to enter and exit out the back area. But that being said, I want to thank the council and the mayor for supporting us, supporting this project that we undertook. And I think it's made an immense improvement on the facility itself, not only just in appearance, but also security-wise for the facility. So thank you all very much for your support. So that's going well. We're getting the electric. I think, in fact, he might have finished today. So power is already run to the gates and for the upcoming digital sign that we are looking to implement. So those 2 projects are, if I can say, be completed finally this week. So, with relation to the homeless initiative, yes, I too would like to commend Jeremy. He has done a tremendous job in assisting us with our homeless initiative. We have collaborated with him, and the officers have been giving him support as needed, as well as we've been passing contacts back and forth. I have also set up another meeting because a lot of our homeless are veterans. And so I've made a contact with the Veterans Justice Outreach Specialist, Stacy Adams, and we have a meeting with her on December 11th so that she can help with our homeless initiative, especially the veterans, and providing them resources that they truly deserve. So we're setting that up as well. Reached out to my counterparts at SAPD and Department of Human Services. Joe Van Kuken is also willing to provide us with other details on resources that we can use to assist with that initiative also. We had discussed the holiday seasons coming up. As you all know, it's going to be prime time for robberies, thefts, other criminal activity. I had wanted to do the bike initiative, but I just don't have the resources right now to send people to the training. I've got several officers that are out injured, so I'm trying to make up those manpower hours and still supply services to the city for regular patrol duties. So we have been researching other avenues, and we think we've come up with a very good solution or alternative, let's say, that will not only be implemented for the holiday season, but will be a long-term implementation of a technology that we will put out at the malls that will assist us in tracking criminal activity, getting us the intel that we need to follow up on it, to prevent it, and to make effective arrests. So the plus about it is just not for the holiday season. It'll be technology that we'll be able to use throughout the city, move it where we need it, as we need it, and implement it as we see fit for investigations. We are also still in the process of obtaining grants. I have 3 individuals, 2 outside resources that are assisting us in locating grants for the department, as well as one of my detectives that we sent to a grant writing seminar. So he was feverishly working on that today and collaborating with the outside resources as well. We are also working in executing a MOU with a federal agency. The federal agency approached and asked if we would be willing to commit man-hours and resources to help with certain initiatives, and they would significantly reimburse us for those efforts. So 6 figures reimbursement to the department. So they came and visited with us today. So I need to review the MOU and then execute it, but it can be done here before December, and the monetary advantage will probably receive before the end of the year. Okay, that's it.
Thank you so much. Within the short time you've been here, everything's just turned around so greatly. And we're fully staffed, but we have some injured.
Yes, sir.
And we have a healthy reserve force now to help out with the load as they can.
Yes, as they can, because a lot of the reserves do have still full-time jobs. And so I've got 2, possibly 3 more that are going to be coming on in our reserve capacity.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, you've had a lot under your plate, Ms. Weaver.
I just wanted to ask if we could help you by having the residents keep an eye out for their own neighbors, to help us out that way. That would make it a little bit easier for you, but we take care of our own too. We have to take the initiative. And I mean, if somebody's at my neighbor's house and I hear this noise, I'll either go out there or I'll call you, one of the 2. But it all depends on how big he is. But I mean, I think if we ask the citizens to help by keeping an eye open, just an extra eye open, and it would make everybody feel a little safer. I've been hit like twice, but it was my fault because I just didn't have a light on. Now my whole house is lit up, but it's just going to help them get everything. I don't know if it's bad or if it's good, but I'm trying, and I think that if our neighbors would take it upon themselves to help each other out, like we have so many elderly that just can't get up and around by themselves. Sometimes they just need the help, and I'm one of those. I'm tired. But anyway, I'm just going to ask all the citizens to help out. Bring it together.
Very well said, ma'am. See something, say something. And thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. All right. So Chief America?
So I had a resignation recently, so I'm looking to hire one. And I'm looking to add my part-time staffing so that I can kind of alleviate some of this overtime that we're getting, trying to maintain the 4-man crews at all times so that we can have manpower on the trucks. Right now it's hard. A lot of the holidays people are taking off, so it's kind of hard to manage people. Tomorrow I'll be meeting with Maria and the building inspector to address some of the issues at the fire station. It's been the same as it was since 1974. So
yeah,
we're trying to bring up some of the ADA issues and some of the cracked walls and stuff like that. So
it's desperately needed over there. Y'all live in that building, and we've continued to put, pardon my my phrasing, but we keep putting lipstick on the pig. And it's time for you
Yeah,
guys.
I agree.
It truly is.
I agree. Well, I appreciate noticing that for my guys and myself when I was there. And I mean, we welcome it and help you all out. And we do a lot of maintenance ourselves there too. So whatever can be done or by an architect, we can save money and do it ourselves.
And if any of the council want to go up there and see what the conditions that they're living in, you'll understand why it's desperately needed. We're going to find a way. We're going to support you in that.
And I was looking at grants for renovations out there too, doing some research and other grants for equipment that we can get to help alleviate cost on that.
And you're good on hoses, scubas?
The SCBA's, that's an issue. We had a FEMA grant, we haven't heard back, but I'm sure with the shutdown, kind of put all that stuff on the back burner, but we're asking FEMA for, it's about $200,000 for new SCBA's because our SCBA's are getting outdated. They're not compatible with any of the other departments in the area, so I'm looking for that.
And the refilling station is still compatible though, isn't it?
Yes, the filling, so we got that first when we applied for the grant 2 years ago, we got that. So that's gonna be compatible with high pressure cylinders. So we got that they were trying to put the cylinders ahead, but it's like, if we got them, we can't fill them, so we might as well get the filling station. And that was 70,000 that we got. So we're slowly trying to help them. I got some new rescue tools, so we're trying to find grants that way too. Financial burdens on the city.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for continuing to help fund those things with grant money. That's always appreciative. Any other questions? Anybody? Mr. Sellers?
Yeah. Was that you that requested that, there was, I think, an $80 charge on oxygen tanks, oxygen bottle? Is that for the fire department?
That's for our medical oxygen bottles
Okay.
to rent them.
In my line of work, it's used for torch, so I'm thinking, maintenance guys torching, I just, it was a question in my mind, but yeah.
No,
thank
we
you.
refill our cylinders that we carry in our bags. We take them back to the station. We have 2 bottles that we recharge.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, medical oxygen is different. It just has a different valve than like welder's oxygen. And they're all everything's hydro. We're good on hydro, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's move on. Announcements, comments, and requests.
Well, Jack, may I be recognized?
Yes, you can.
So Chief Matakin, I don't know what the numbers look like financially, but I appreciate you looking for grants. I also want to encourage you maybe to look for some income producing opportunities for the fire department. One avenue is perhaps having our own EMS service. And those are the numbers that I'm curious about because I know that we have that contracted out now. I wanted to see would it be more of an expense for us to provide our own services, or that be a possible avenue to generate some additional revenue for the city? So if you can look into that for us.
Okay, I have some insight on that. Currently, we're contracting with Acadian at no charge. They don't charge us an annual. They restock some of our supplies. I like to try to get some of our own with our own money, as we are our own organization. But they are willing to, we're on scene. Hey, do y'all need anything? We like gloves, non-rebreathers, stuff like that. To get our own ALS unit, an ambulance, it's probably like $1 million just to start it up. And then I don't know how to say this without sounding cruel, but our clientele won't reimburse. It'll be hard to recoup money that way.
That was my question. It's going to be more of an expense than it would be
Like
income producing.
Chavano Park and Terrell Hills, they can sustain that because
They have the
they have
insurance to.
insurance. Yeah. So
Okay.
we can look. I can look into that. There's some old information, and I can pretty much just get it and get new numbers with that. But I can definitely look into that.
Thank you. Mhm.
Any other council members? Tracy? No? Molly? Okay. We're going to move on to announcements, comments, and requests. I want to repeat myself with Jeremy and Nick over there, just stellar job. But I'd be remorse if I didn't say Roy Martinez over there. He's been at every one of our public events. He's made them very successful, and he's showing up every time. And the selling of furniture and stuff up at the old senior center, we made a little bit of money, and we still have a lot of stuff in there that we need to sell. And yes, Chief.
We've contacted a company that's going to come and get our stuff, the equipment that we have in there, and they're actually going to go and sell it for us at and not charge us anything up front. They'll get a small percentage of the commission after what they sell, and we'll get the check for return.
Excellent, excellent. Let's see here. I have well, first, is there anybody else that would like to say anything? Or I think this last few months being on council has been very positive with the police and how it's going. With the added of Nick and Jeremy and Roy over here, and of course couldn't do it if Maria and Joe weren't at the helm over here keeping the city going. So thank you all for doing what you do. Do you have any announcements, Maria?
Sorry. The lighting of the Christmas tree, December 6th, and then December 19th, the movies at the park. We are showing the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. So it's going to be very nice. If you want to come and see me in Cindy Lou's costume, please come. The lighting of the Christmas tree is going to be at 7. The movie is at 6. At 6 p.m. The movie's on the 19th.
Be cool if we could find a person to dress up in the Grinch outfit. And kind
A
of
flyer coming out or something like that, because the last time, like when you all
maybe
did,
Johnny.
when you all did some of the other stuff, I actually put, as part of the business alliance, I was putting some of the businesses on the back and distributing them in the neighborhood for the garage sale, because some people weren't getting, I mean, not everybody looks at the newsletter and stuff like that. So I was promoting our local businesses and also informing people about.
Roy had sent emails to business owners and apartment complex announcing the movie at the park, and also asking if they want to donate via vendor, bring cookies or hot chocolate for the movies.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Okay.
And Mr. Sellers?
Maria,
Yes, sir.
I just want to ask that you, if you could, keep the council updated with the status on the contract we had with Madeline Slay in our building.
Okay, yes, I'm gonna approach them and see what's the status with that.
All right, thank you.
The other thing I wanted to announce is I encourage all the business owners to bring an ornament for the Christmas tree. It should be here on Tuesday at the latest. And we're asking every business owner to bring an ornament with the logo of their business. That way we can also advertise our businesses are in the area.
Were you able to see the link I gave you for that Christmas tree ornament? They make them? If
No, I
not,
didn't.
I'll send it to you again.
Send it, please.
I'll send it to you
Mhm.
again. Okay. Yes, you may.
As far as a announcement or discussion, I do want to recognize a couple of people. So first, I want to recognize Maria, our city administrators, leading by example with service. She volunteered this weekend to go out to the park. She rolled up her sleeves. And let me tell you, I think she had the worst job. But she went out there and she cleaned it. And then Roy, I was so impressed. Roy was there raking leaves and stuff. It was really impressive. And so, and then our two maintenance workers who I don't know their name, but they're paid to maintain the park and other parts of the city, but they both volunteered to go on a Saturday to do it again, for free. I thought that was amazing that our city staff is volunteering for that. So thank you for your leadership there. And then I do want to recognize, and it looks like he's left, but, Mr. Abear, here's a gentleman that's in a wheelchair, and he was out there with a leaf blower going around and helping. And it just blew my mind. It's amazing. So, for other citizens in the community, I'm thinking, here's a guy that's in a wheelchair and he's even helping out. So like, we need to see a bigger response from the community next time. So that's my comments.
Okay. Before we get to requests by mayor and council to be placed on future agendas, I would like to read a statement because he cannot read it tonight. But the mayor put together a statement that he wrote and read at the EDC meeting last week. And it goes as follows. It says, "Good evening, everybody. I want to begin by acknowledging the work that's been done to get us to this point. Wonderland of the America remains one of the most significant assets in Balcones Heights, not only from a physical standpoint, but as a reflection of who we are and what we're building toward as a community. Over the last few months, this council and our Economic Development Corporation have taken a hard look at every component tied to our shared interest, operations, performance, transparency, and long-term alignment with the city's strategic vision. Our residents and taxpayers deserve nothing less than full accountability and clarity when it comes to how this property is managed, how revenues are handled, and how decisions are made. We're entering a period where expectations will be defined not only by what was customary in the past, but by what is required to move forward, measure transparency, and tied directly to results. That's not criticism. It's the natural evolution of a partnership that must serve the public first. I want everybody here to understand the city's intent is not to micromanage, but to ensure stewardship. We are aligning structure with responsibility so that every dollar, every lease, every decision at Wonderland advances the broader goals of revitalization and physical sustainably. As we move into this next phase, I'm confident that we can create a model here, a modern, accountable framework that balances private investment with public purpose. That's the spirit in which we've gathered. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the letters and support that the city has received from our regional and state partners regarding the redevelopment of Wonderland of the Americas. These expressions of confidence are more than symbolic. They affirm that what we are undertaking here in Balcones Heights is viewed as essential to the broader regional framework for mobility, housing, economic revitalization. First, I want to thank Via Metropolitan Transit and its CEO, John Gary Herrera, for recognizing the strategic role that Wonderland plays as both transit hub and community anchor. Via's support for including its parcels within the master plan underscores a shared commitment to trans-oriented redevelopment, linking people, jobs, and opportunity in one connected space. I also want to recognize Senator Jose Menendez, whose district office sits right here on the property. His perspective from within the site gives him a unique appreciation for both the challenges and potential of this redevelopment. His letter makes clear that the state stands ready to identify resources and programs that can strengthen infrastructure and accelerate investment in this corridor. From the County Commissioner, Justin Rodriguez has expressed strong support for our direction, emphasized the importance of aligning our efforts with the county's own regional priorities. His office is already exploring funding tools, participation mechanisms that could help us deliver the infrastructure improvements necessary for long-term success. And finally, Judge Peter Sakai has offered words that reflect a deep understanding of our mission, reminding us the public investment must produce public benefit. His support validates the direction the city and our Economic Development Corporation have taken to move forward responsibly with transparency and accountability at the center of every decision. Each of these partners, city, county, state, and VIA, has a role to play. Together, they create a network of support that gives us momentum and legitimacy to move from planning to implementation. It's a powerful reminder that Balcones Heights does not stand alone. We are a part of a regional ecosystem that succeeds when we succeed. These letters and support should serve both as encouragement and a mandate encouraged to keep pressing forward, and a mandate to do so with the highest level of professionalism and stewardship. With partners like these behind us, with partners like these behind us, the path ahead is clear and the opportunity is ours to seize. We are at a crossroads, one that will define not just the future of the Wonderland of the Americas, but the credibility of every public and private partner connected to it. For 4 years, this partnership has had every opportunity to safeguard the public interest, stabilize operations, and deliver a coherent plan for redevelopment. Yet, despite the resources, the time, and trust extended, the property remains in decline and the public's money remains at risk. Those of us who represent taxpayers, the City of Balcones Heights, the Balcones Heights Economic Development Corporation, our partners at Via Transit, Bexar County, the state, and now Falcon Bank cannot ignore the reality. The question before us is whether we continue to look backward, defining a structure that has failed to perform, or whether we have the courage to chart new course that puts stewardship and accountability first. Falcon Bank, as the holder of the note, understands what's at stake. The asset's value will only recover through decisive action and unified redevelopment strategy. The city is prepared to lead that effort, but leadership requires that others stop standing on the sidelines. The moment for hesitation has passed. Our partners, VIA, Senator Menendez, Commissioner Rodriguez, and Judge Sakai, have all affirmed their confidence in Balcones Heights' direction. They see what we see, a property with untapped potential, a corridor ready to come alive again, and a community that deserves more than empty promises. That kind of regional alignment doesn't happen by accident. It happens when local government steps up and takes responsibility. We cannot be bound by arrangements that no longer serve the public good. We must move forward with clarity, integrity, and boldness. The city's intent is not to dismantle, but to rebuild, to create a framework where accountability replaces confusion and progress replaces paralysis. This is our crossroads moment. We can cling to the past and watch this opportunity slip away, or we can stand together. City, county, state, and transit, and a lender like alike. And finally, bring Wonderland of the Americas into the future. The choice is ours. And in Balcones Heights, we choose the future. That's Johnny Rodriguez. So thank you. All right. Last but not least, items to be placed on the agenda. So do we have any items anybody would like to, at this moment, place on the agenda? Mr. Sellers.
Going back to the parks again, I was walking my dogs, and I noticed that the concrete or the asphalt where the kids jump is cracking and unstable, unlevel. I know we set aside some money for the park, but I don't know what it's going to come. I'm sure that trimming the trees is pretty expensive. But if we could spend a little on re-asphalting or concreting that slab and a little bit on the bathrooms, of course, I'd like to put that on the agenda too.
Okay. I can tell you that we are discussing possibly some work to be done down at the park. The parts that fail at the park are over the ditch, and those need to be moved significantly. But hey, we've got champagne taste on a beer budget, so we're going to we'll take priorities. And first thing, I think you'd mentioned, you were the one that brought it up a while ago. Let's get this trees trimmed and see what we have in the kitty, and we'll try and make our dollars stretch, and hopefully we can get some grants coming in. And so if you'd like to place that on the agenda, can we do that, please? Okay. Anybody else, anything on the agenda? Of course, you can always come to Maria or Joe Bravo. I prefer you go to Maria and let Maria delegate that to Joe if anything you need or any questions. I would like to see, and I've discussed this with the chief, and he's looking surprised at me. He's like, oh no, what's Jack getting me into? No, not another parade. Mr. Gardon was, bringing up some things about, the Police Officers Association and stuff. I think it's time for another coffee with the cops, and maybe we can tie that into one of the new scooters opening up or something like.
It's a drive-through.
I'm sorry?
That's a drive-through only.
Well, I'm just saying they can participate. Coffee with the. Well, that's to be determined, but thank you for your offer. But yes, I'd like to see some public participation, and I know the one gentleman, I don't know if you had a time to meet with him yet, Don on Leisure.
He's on my list.
Yes.
He's on my list, yes, sir.
So I'd like to see some participation and on that. So.
No, I'd enjoy coffee with the cops. That'd be tremendous.
And so, is there any other business that we have to discuss? Anybody want to, Molly, your mic's on?
Well, I just want to say thank you because when I first came here, I was complaining about two things. The light in front of the Bolero, because it really needs to have a blinking yellow turn. And then that curb right in front of Jim's, they put two little yellow sticks there, which helps, but they didn't get to paint it yellow or bright orange or something like that. You can't see it when you're trying to get on there and you're trying to take the exit and not wait for the light or whatever.
Where is this at?
Hillcrest in Fredericksburg.
Okay, I don't know if we can paint curbs other than red. I think that's the only thing you can paint a curb, but we'll have Nick look into it.
Well,
and see if
that's
there's
why I'm saying they did
any
put up
type
two
of
little
markings
sticks for
that
the
can-
yellow reflectors, but
that
if
can-
that's all they can do, I want to say thank you.
Okay.
Because it does help.
So we'll speak on that at the next meeting. All right, Mr. Hernandez.
I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
I have a motion for adjournment. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Sellers. All in favor? Aye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you all for attending, and thank you. It is now 8:04.